If you're struggling on offense in Madden, I've got you covered. I'm about to show you the best formation to dominate on offense for both the run and the pass. The formation we're going to be looking at is the strong close formation, and we're in the Jets playbook, which is by far the best playbook in the game. Now, you can also find a good version of this formation in the Packers and in the West Coast playbook as well. I just think the Jets playbook offers so many more options that it's the playbook to use. Now, there's a ton of good plays in this formation, and I really consider this a little bit more of an under center passing formation versus a running formation. The runs are solid, but the passes are where you're really going to make your money. But the two runs that I want to focus on are the off tackle and the halfback zone weak. Those are the two that I like the most, and basically you want to kind of run a little bit to set up the pass. You want to make them respect it. So we'll start with the zone weak. I like this run. It's a pretty quick handoff. The blocking is pretty solid on it, and I feel like the linebackers just don't quite react as quickly to this run as they might to others. I also feel like this run for some reason does not get block shedded that quickly, because some runs just by nature in this game will get shedded much easier. This zone weak run just seems like a really solid run. The blocking is good on it, and it's just a little quick hitting run to the left side of the field. I like to use this to keep things honest. Then we've got the halfback off tackle, and this is going to be the way we attack the right side of the field. Now, I'm not looking to really hit home runs with this, even though we just did right here. I'm just looking to get safe yards. I'm looking for 3 to 5 yards to keep them honest, because the pass is where we're really going to make our money. But with this run, I don't try to do too much. I take what's available. I don't really hold sprint or turbo until I'm in the open field, because that's going to cause for more block shedding. I just keep my hand on the left stick. I see a hole, I try to hit it. Give me my quick 4 to 5 yards. I'm on to the next play. If the home run is there, which it will be sometimes, then good. But otherwise, like right here, sometimes you're going to lose a yard or two. It's a run. No run is going to get positive yards every single time. Sometimes you're going to get quickly shedded. But on average, you can see we get easy yards. We move the chains forward. We keep the ball moving, and we're going to set up our pass. So this is the off tackle run. Like I said, a lot of times you're going to kind of hit that little gap right there, get 3 to 4 quick yards. But when you're running on either side of the field, they're not always sure which run's coming, because then, you can quickly hit them on this side of the field, and then now you just blew it right open. See, so they're just a very good complement to one another because they attack quickly each side of the field. Now let's get into the passing. The first play we're going to cover is double post. Now with this formation, I do like to keep the strong side of the formation on the short side of the field the majority of the time. There'll be some exceptions, which I'll go over later. Usually you're going to be on one side of the field or the other, especially if you're running the ball. You're not going to usually be in the middle of the hashes. So we're on the right hash. That means we want our strong side of the formation to the right. If we were on the left hash, we would flip it. Now really quickly, before we get into these passing breakdowns, if you made it to this point in the video and you haven't subscribed yet, you might as well go ahead and join the family. That way you can stay up to date with all of the latest and best Madden tips all year long to improve your game. So the thing I love about this formation is they have so many routes that beat man. It's easy to flood zone because it's a compressed set, and you also have the ability to do some good quick passes out of the backfield. So with this play double post, the first thing I like to do is drag the tight end, put the fullback on a wheel route. Now I have a tight end here. You can kind of sub in whoever you want here, whoever's the best player. Typically you want speed, someone that can catch. Wheel routes out of the backfield are going to be good quick passes against zone in this formation, but they're also a lot of times going to get over the top of man coverage for huge plays. So we're going to go ahead and snap the ball here to show you what I mean. Now you see how the fullback just completely cooked the guy. Now it's not going to happen like that every single time. There are times where he'll kind of bump the guy and rub him, and he'll defend it a little bit better. But a lot of times that's going to be essentially a one-play touchdown. So we're going to run it again here to show you. You see how he beats him again over the top. Boom. So you have that going for you, and you could do this out of any play. But with this play, the reason it works so well is because these post routes do a good job against man as well. I really like the one on the left a little bit better. So watch, right when he cuts, you throw this to the inside and you go for the catch. And the safety actually played that pretty well that time. Usually he won't even play it that well, but even in a situation where he did play it well, still got the catch. But you can see, like, you're going to get a huge play to the inside with that route. Now the B route will beat man a lot of times as well, but if you want to try to switch it up on him and hit that route instead of hitting X, you want to go ahead and streak X just to kind of clear things out a little bit more so they're not running in the same spot, and you can see you can hit him for a big play as well. So you can kind of switch it up that way. And of course, you always have the option of hitting the tight end if he beats his man, which usually the tight end drags do a good job in this formation of beating their man. So you have a completely different man beater going the opposite way. Now, once they start coming out in zone, this turns into a different play, because I want you to notice, like the fullback, for example, quick pass against zone. I love this. I love this. And I will throw this every single play if they're not going to guard it. That previous play was a cover 3. Here's a cover 2. Even against a cover 2, you're going to be able to hit that because the cloud flat's going to drift back with the post. And then of course against zone on the other side of the field, you have the drag that's coming across as well. So you can pick up a few yards with that because it'll usually sit underneath the zone coverage. Now the only way to stop those underneath routes is to be in the zone coverage and shade down. But if they start shading down, then it just makes it super easy to quick hit the post right behind them. So you're kind of playing cat and mouse with them. You do need to make those reads because if you try to quick pass and they're shaded down, you could very easily throw a pick. But if you see everything clamping down right away, you know you can hit these posts really easy behind them. And another thing I like about that fullback wheel route concept is when they try to do cover zero blitzes and things like that, a lot of times you'll still be able to hit that quick pass against him because like the man defense they kind of switch. Like the safety and the linebacker will switch and you're getting easy yards. Now let's move on to the play Y trail. Now the play Y trail is an interesting one because it's good for certain things. So for example, if they're running man press, what I'll do here is I'll motion this guy over and streak him. And then what we can do on the right is I definitely like to leave the tight end on his angle route because that's a good man beating route as well. You can wheel the fullback if you kind of want to have like that quick pass if it is a zone. But what happens against man press here is B's always going to get that inside release and it's an instant quick pass against man press every single time. But see here, you also have the fullback that's going to get wide open over the top as well. You have the tight end. If he gets a clean release, he'll cook on the cut. The problem with the tight end, the only problem with it is sometimes, especially this year, guys will run into each other. They bump a little bit. So sometimes the tight end can get bagged because of that. But typically between the fullback and the tight end, one of those guys should get open. But what you're really looking for is this quick pass to the inside here. So that's a really good way to use this play if they're trying to man press. But another thing that's good about this is if they go to cover two, you can motion this guy over, but you have a whole nother way of beating it. So I'll do the same setup here. So I can quick pass the fullback, of course. But now what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to hit X. Just like that. And you kind of have to be a little quick. You don't want to wait too long because if you wait a little too long, the safety could potentially make a play on it. But now you have a way to beat cover two as well. Next, we're going to look at the play PA Scissors. And I do want to mention really quickly that I also have a Patreon page where I post my ebooks and the higher level Madden tips to really bring your game to the highest level possible. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the pinned comment below. Now with PA Scissors, there's some different things I like to do with this. For example, if we're on the short side of the field here, what I'll do is a lot of times I like to streak X because it helps open up the post a little bit. And let's just say, you know, we're going against man defense. We want to just hurry up, run this play action, kind of a little quick pass. You're going to have the post. This post cooks to the inside every single time. And with some of the other plays we run, we're hitting the post on the left a little bit more consistently. But with this play, we can fry man coverage with this post. It just gets good separation. And this is Alan Lazard too, which in the game, he doesn't have like crazy route running stats or anything like that. So if it works with him, that's how you know it'll work with any receiver. Now, when you carry out the play action between the fullback and the tight end, usually one of them will get pretty open. It's hard to predict sometimes because players do rub and bump into each other a lot and that can mess the play up. But typically one of them against man will be open, and I mean usually like wide open. So you just have to make the read, but it's between them and the post. Against man, you should have those options. One of the guys on the right side should be open and the post should be open. Now let's look at zone coverage. So against cover 3, we can do the same thing, just streak X. We can carry out the play action. Now against cover 3, you're going to have the fullback wide open because the zone over there is going to drift back with the corner route. But you'll also be able to hit the post right over the middle. Sometimes I like to click on to make sure I can secure the catch just to make sure the safety doesn't come and make a play. But usually you won't even have to do that. Now, of course, if they're shading their defense down, then it's going to be the tight end that's wide open as opposed to the flat route. And if you want to do it without the play action, you can do that as well. But since we do run the ball a bit out of this, I like using the play action. But against some players, you might not be able to use the play action as much depending on how they play defense. So if you just want to be able to quick pass without play action, you can just block the halfback and take the play action off the play as well. Now, also with this play, sometimes I will run it to the wide side of the field. And when I do that, what I'm actually trying to do is do rollout corners. So like what I'll do is I'll streak this guy, and then I'll just kind of keep everything else the same, and I'll slide my line to the right. So basically, you know, you cancel play action here, hit the right trigger R2 button, you roll out, and you hit the rollout corner, which gives you more big play ability. But I don't do it a whole bunch, but it definitely is something that works well because no matter if it's man or zone, if you can roll out, You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be able to get it over the top for like a big gain just like that. So that is another way you can use the play. Rollout corners, I think, will be popular again this year. Now let's look at the play PA deep really quickly. Now the reason I use that rollout corner option sometimes, which I just showed you, is because this play right here can bomb cover 3 for a 1-play touchdown on this side of the field. So you need something else that can kind of complement that. So when you're on this side of the field or when you're just going to the wide side, they don't exactly know what play you're running. So what you do here is you can put the X receiver on an out. You can streak the tight end. You can carry out the play action if you want. If not, you don't have to. But what happens here is you can strike against a cover 3 like this. And a lot of people like to use cover 3s. Cover 3s is probably the most popular coverage shell on average that you're going to run into in Madden. Here we'll just not run the play action just to show you. But if you're playing people that run cover 3 every down, which you're going to have people like that, you can use this play to bomb 1-play touchdowns, and then you can use the PA scissors play that we just showed to complement this by rolling out the other way to hit the rollout corner. But here you see again, cover 3, it's just an easy 1-play touchdown. This route gets downfield so quick as well, which is also good. You don't have to wait long for it to develop. And then you also have this little route, the fullback zone, which is another nice little quick pass you can use as well. So if like a user just immediately goes and runs back with your deeper route, you know, if you see him running back there, then you know you can just kind of quick hit this and get some easy yards as well. So this is another little glitchy play that you can mix in. Now let's look at the play wide receiver out. So the way I like to run this play is I want to put X on a whip route. I want to block the running back, put the fullback on the wheel, and I like to put B on a hitch. And this kind of just gives me the ability to beat everything. Now this post route is one of the best man beaters in the game, but sometimes it will bump around and rub up on the defender and not get open. That's just a Madden 24 thing. There's nothing you can really do about it. So you just have to be mindful of that with this play. So let's run it right here, and you'll see when it gets clear, I mean, it's wide open. There's no chance. It's the best post route for a tight end in the game. It's just that sometimes it will get that rub and it won't be open, and that's why you have to just go on to the other reads. So we have the whip route, of course. Whips do a really good job at beating man as well. To the sideline right there, you see wide open. And then, of course, we have the fullback wheel route, which is always going to be good. Now, this is a really good spacing play because you have 3 routes that can destroy man that are literally on different parts of the field, 2 on each sideline and 1 down the middle of the field. So it's a really, really good man beater. Now against zone, of course, you're going to always be able to quick pass the fullback, so I'm not going to keep showing it. As long as they're not shading down, that fullback quick pass will always be there. But you'll see we have other things we could do. We can hit the B route, right? If we wait and we don't hit the fullback right away, then the zones go back and you can hit that little hitch. But then you're also going to have the tight end. He's going to kind of cross, and again, he kind of bumped there, so it was a little more delayed than we like it to be, but he's going to be wide open right there. Against cover 2, you kind of have the same thing going for you here. You just want to wait a little bit longer on the post, and you might want to try to click on and user catch the post a little bit, kind of come back to the ball just to be a little safer, but you can beat everything with this setup. Now let's look at the play mesh post. Now this is one of my favorite ones in the entire formation. So we can it's a quick snap play. You can quick snap it. This route is going to get open pretty much every time. Unlike the tight end post, this wide receiver post doesn't really get rubbed a lot, so it's going to be open pretty quickly. You've got 2 meshing drags here. A lot of times the tight end is going to be the one that comes open because they're going to mesh and the defenders are going to run into each other, which is, man, that's what happens in real life with mesh concepts. That's why they work. So you can see defender gets caught up. So you have a post and you're going to have one of the drags pretty much every time. That's just a quick pass setup. You can also have a quick pass setup by just putting the fullback on his wheel route, so you also have that so that you can have an option of just beating the defense deep. We got hit with instant pass rush there, but you see the fullback was open for a touchdown. So now you have the fullback, you have a drag, and you have a post open versus man. Now versus zone, we can do some different things. Again, if you want to just do quick pass against zone, you're going to have the fullback if they're not shading down, whether you keep him on his flat or you put him on the wheel. You could do either or against zone. They're going to work about the same way. But you're also going to have quick drags underneath. You could hit 2 against zone. So this is really one of the better quick snap plays in the game, and it's definitely the best quick snap play in the formation. But if you want to mix it up a little bit more to really open up the post, what I would suggest doing is you want to streak either the tight end or X. It really depends. You can kind of do either or, and then you can either keep the fullback on his flat or you can put him on the wheel if you want him to go a little more upfield. Again, you're always going to have that option, and then you'll see here, I mean, look how open this gets. I think I like the tight end on the streak a little better because it gives you more of like almost a one-play touchdown with this route here. So, I mean, that's against a cover 3. Obviously, cover 2, it's going to be a little different, but you see, I mean, we got fullback here, we got X here, we wait, we got B. So the timing of this against zone is just so good because you can make your progressions and everything is kind of on time because every route is getting open at a different part. You go fullback, drag, post, and one of them at some point of the play should be open. Now against cover 2, I'm more so looking for the fullback and the drag. The post, if they shade down, will be wide open. You can hit the post against cover 2, but it's definitely a riskier of a pass, and it's not one that I even like to make. So I'm going fullback here. If not, I'm going X with the quick check down. Again, you can also just leave the complete quick snap setup as well, and then you have 2 drags you could hit, or you can go for this type of setup with streaking X. So you got just different ways you can kind of attack them with this. But you see here, you can hit the post if you streak X. You just have to wait a little bit longer, so you have that option as well. So this is a very versatile play that you can use to really trick your opponents. Now let's look at PA deep cross. This is another play that you can quick snap from time to time if you want to, and X is going to be really good. He's going to fry his man, you could see, and then against zone, he'll be open in that same spot as well. So showing it against zone here again, you'll see he's going to be open. You might want to click on and make the catch against cover 3, but you're going to have that window there to hit him. Now this is another good play because you've got a post and you've got a crossing route. So what I like to do here is I like to set this one up a little differently. Typically, I'm just not going to run the play action here. I'm going to drag the tight end and put the fullback on an out route because I don't want to do the wheel route here because the wheel route's going to get in the way of where the crossing route's going. So this is a good little kind of quick snap setup. You could see against man, a lot of stuff's open against man right there. Pretty much everything is open against man. So we'll run it again. You can see fullback kind of open there. He kind of bumped so that he would have got more open, but still that's a quick 5 yards. You can also see the post gonna fry man as well, the crossing route. Pretty much everything we're putting on this play is gonna beat man. Now if my opponent's running a lot of zone, instead of having the tight end on a drag, I rather have him on a streak because I really feel like it opens up everything more. So of course you're gonna see fullback's gonna be open for the quick pass, but then what happens is eventually the zone does bite down, and that was a cover 3, and you see the crossing routes open. So against a cover 3, you have the quick pass to the fullback early, and then you have the crossing route late. Now against a cover 2, sometimes the cloud flat actually will defend the crossing route, so it is a little risky, so I'd rather just take the quick dump down here. But if they start shading down to stop that, if they start playing hard flats, then the crossing route becomes wide open. Now you can also hit this post against cover 2 as well. You can usually time it up nicely because the streak is going to occupy the safety, so you do have a couple good options against cover 2 like that. Now that you know about the best offense in the game, you're halfway there. Now you need the best defense so that you could shut your opponents down on the other side of the ball, and you can check out that video right here on the screen.